Welcome to Confined Water Dive 5, a mini dive odyssey complete with dive planning, real-time problem solving, and mastery of techniques that will guide and prepare you for your very first open water training dives. Like all dives, with your buddy, you first create a plan for your dive. You can use your skill practice slate to review the skills that you are most comfortable with and those you would like to practice more, ensuring mastery. Discuss these skills with your buddy ahead of time, helping each other and setting yourselves on the path to success. Using your PADI dive planning slate, discuss your dive objectives, environmental conditions, and your dive's requirements, as well as your turning air pressure and planned air reserve when completing the dive. You will also review the entry and exit points, descending and ascending locations and techniques, as well as the directions and planned route of your dive. This is also a great opportunity to review hand signals and underwater communication, because underwater, all we have is each other. Leave nothing to chance and make sure everybody clearly understands the dive plan so that we can all work as a team to ensure safety and have a great dive. Assembling your scuba diving equipment. We will now prepare our weight system and our scuba diving gear. Here we will use a weight belt with the correct amount of weight needed specific to each individual diver. At this point in your training, you must have already assembled and disassembled your equipment at least 5 times. So you should be ready to do this on your own with little to no assistance. Use proper lifting techniques to help your buddy into their scuba equipment. And then, as a buddy team, always complete your pre-dive safety checks. Remember to use the acronym BRAF. You will test the functions of your BCD. Confirm the amount and placement of your weights with your buddy. Check the releases on your BCD, including the safety strap and the main tank band on the back. Confirm your air is on, the tank is full, and both the regulators are breathing normally, including your primary air source and your alternate air source. We have a more detailed breakdown of the pre-dive safety checks here on our channel. It's time to get in the water. Mask on, a partially inflated BCD. Switch from your snorkel to your regulator. Take your final step toward the edge. Don't forget to check your surroundings and the water below you, confirming a safe entry. Hold onto your weight belt with one hand and keep your mask and regulator in place with the other hand. One final big step into the water and away we go. Once you are in the water, remember to fully inflate your BCD by pressing and holding the low pressure inflator button. You can conserve your air by switching to your snorkel and signal a nice big OK to your buddies on the surface. Before you descend, you'll want to confirm you are wearing the correct amount of weight. Make sure you are breathing from the regulator when doing this. You can do a buoyancy weight check at the surface easily by holding in a regular breath of air, not too full, and then fully deflating your BCD. With an empty BCD and holding a normal breath of air, you will be floating at eye level perfectly. If you begin to sink, You are overweighted, and you can remove weights as needed. When your buoyancy check is complete, fully inflate your BCD once again. The 5-point descent will provide you peace of mind to safely conduct your descent with ease. Step 1. Signal OK, ready to descend. Step 2. Orientation on the surface and in the water below. Step 3. Switch from your snorkel to your regulator. Step 4. Check the start time of your dive. Elevate your LPI, equalize your ears, and step 5, deflate the BCD and descend. Remember to continue equalizing early and often before you feel discomfort. At a minimum, you'll likely need to do this every 1 meter or 3 feet. As you approach the end of your descent, try to complete it neutrally buoyant without touching the bottom. You can accomplish this with breath control and by adding a small amount of air into the BCD with a quick press of the LPI button. One of the main objectives of this mini dive is to prepare you for the ocean. Neutral buoyancy is the name of the game, while we simulate environmentally sensitive conditions such as coral reefs and marine life. Buoyancy control and stable hovering are essential for responsible scuba diving. Let's practice this now with the Buddha position or in a horizontal trim swimming position. The Buddha position, as seen here, is a wonderful technique for assessing your hovering abilities, ensuring you remain stable while focusing on breath control. While horizontal trim is the position you'll be in most throughout your dives, as remaining horizontal will use less energy, lower your air consumption, providing you longer and more enjoyable dives. Comfortable with your buoyancy control, continue with the dive as planned. Stay within arm's reach of your buddy and remember to keep an eye on your depth and buoyancy. Communicate with your buddy often. This is a team activity and all we have is each other. Now don't worry, you might still be getting a feel for your buoyancy. If you find you are sinking a little too much, continue inhaling and exhaling fully and completely, never holding air in your lungs. Instead, use a very quick press of the low pressure inflator button. Adding a small amount of air into the BCD will compensate your buoyancy. Stay with your buddy and pay attention to your depth as you swim together. Scuba diving is all about preparation and readiness, and you've already mastered all the skills necessary to provide you the knowledge and serenity to control unpredictable situations. In this dive, you will be tasked with various issues to overcome. For example, your mask might become foggy or water might leak inside. If this happens, remember the mask clearing skill. Even with a fully flooded mask, you will press down on the top frame of the mask, look down, and strongly exhale through your nose while simultaneously looking up to the sky. You can repeat this process if needed, but this will remove all of the water from inside of your mask. Seeing clearly now, communicate with your buddy and continue the dive as planned. Another problem you might encounter is a regulator being dropped from the mouth. The role of a good dive buddy is to stay close to the diver while they handle any problematic situation, ready to provide assistance if needed. If the regulator falls from your mouth, you already know to slowly blow constant bubbles, keeping the airway open. Use proper regulator recovery technique, leaning to the right and sweeping your right arm along the side of your body back to your tank and then swinging the arm out. The hose is now conveniently hanging over your shoulder. Locate the regulator mouthpiece and replace it in your mouth while still blowing small bubbles continuously. Clear the regulator with the method of your choice. Once complete, communicate with your dive buddy, confirming you are both ready to continue the dive together. Being a safe diver requires effective air management, and by now you should be gaining a better understanding of predicting how much air you normally use. Frequently check your submersible pressure gauge and communicate your remaining air supply, helping you and your buddy determine when to turn the dive around or prepare for your ascent. Remember, thinking like a diver means not just thinking about yourself, but your buddy as well. On the topic of air management, in this mini dive, we will simulate an out-of-air situation. You see the out-of-air signal and immediately reach for your alternate air source as you approach the diver closely. Deploy the air source. Reposition the hose over your shoulder. Present the regulator mouthpiece to the diver. Careful not to block the purge button by holding onto the hose. When switching regulators, remember to blow small bubbles continuously. Clear the regulator and resume normal breathing. The two divers make contact with a technique such as the Roman handshake, allowing them to swim together as a team safely. Communicate that you are both okay and begin to swim. Remain together and swim as a buddy team to a safe area, and then prepare to make an air sharing ascent. Use hand signal communication, elevate your LPI, and with your finger ready over the deflate button, simulate your ascent. But you don't actually need to ascend. Remain stationary. When the skill is complete, remember to reset your regulators appropriately and give the out-of-air diver enough time to switch back to their own primary air source. And then return your alternate air source to the streamlined position in the BCD. A great habit to get into is checking your air immediately after finishing any skill or task. Here, our diver is now at 80 bar, and our responsible divers will complete the dive with the predetermined air reserve remaining in the tank, which means it's time to begin the 5-point ascent. The first step is to signal, "Okay, ready to ascend." Step 2 is time, checking the end time of your dive. Remember, in open water, we will also need to complete a safety stop, which is remaining stationary at a depth of 5 meters for a total of 3 minutes before finally completing the ascent. Step 3 is to elevate your LPI and prepare to deflate expanding air on the ascent. Step 4, look up to the sky and listen for boats or other hazards. Step 5 is to ascend. Remember to hold your right hand high up, covering your head for protection. Begin swimming up slowly. Remember, our maximum ascent rate is no more than 18 meters per minute. Ascend as slowly as possible and continue deflating air, helping to maintain that slow ascent rate. As you breach the surface, you will now move your finger to the inflate button and fully inflate your BCD to become positively buoyant, floating on the surface. Switch to your snorkel, signal OK, and your dive is complete. Use appropriate exit techniques to get out of the water and help your buddy. Remember to never pull on the first stage, always holding by the tank valve. Last but not least, you will disassemble your equipment by first turning off the air and depressurizing the system. Loosen the yoke screw and remove the first stage. Thoroughly dry the dust cap and replace it over the first stage opening, and then tighten the yoke screw to keep it in place. Disconnect your regulators and hoses and set them aside for washing. Now remove the BCD from the air cylinder and prepare all of your equipment to clean with fresh water. With your equipment cleaned, put it away to dry. Congratulations! Your confined water training is officially complete. You can kick back, relax, and celebrate because you are one step closer to becoming an open water scuba diver. Comment down below if you have any questions about your scuba dive training, and please like this video and subscribe if you would like to see more neutrally buoyant scuba dive training guides. Join us next time in the ocean on beautiful coral reefs when we will take you through everything you need to know about open water dive number 1.